The Proto-Indo-European language had a root yelk, meaning yellow or green. Proto-Indo-European is the hypothesized ancestor language from which all the modern Indo-European languages descend. So this is most of the languages of Europe and of South Asia. Now, how can this word refer to both yellow and green? Well, historically, color terms in the world's languages referred to a broader range of colors than they do today. There's a historical trend that across languages over time, color words have evolved from focusing more on the brightness and texture of the color to the hue of the color. So originally most languages had very few color distinctions. Some only had black versus white, or black, white, and red. This Proto-Indo-European word yelk goes so far back in time that this was at the point when there were very few color terms in Indo-European. And that word yelk led to lots of words in modern English, many of which you probably wouldn't expect are related to each other. First off, that word became the word chloros in ancient Greek, meaning pale green, and that's where we get words like chlorophyll and chlorine. Yelk also led to the ancient Greek word chole, meaning bile, which is yellow-green in color. And this was borrowed into English as the word cholera, like what you get in the Oregon Trail, and cholesterol. Cholesterol comes from the words chole, meaning bile, and steros, meaning stiff. During the medieval era, it was also thought that depression or sadness was caused by an excess of black bile in the body. That gave rise to the Greek term melancholia, meaning sadness, where that second part is that same word chole, meaning bile, and melon, meaning black. And of course, that was eventually borrowed into English as the word melancholy. Now, there's less certainty about these next two words, but they're really interesting. First, the Proto-Indo-European word gyelch may have been borrowed into Latin as the word fel, meaning bile or poison. That evolved into the French word felon, meaning bad, evil, or immoral, and of course that's where we get the modern English word felon from. Second, gyelch may have been the first part of the Latin word galbinus, meaning greenish yellow, and that became the word jaune in Old French and the modern French word jaune, and English got the word jaundice from that French word jaune. Now, in the Germanic branch of Indo-European, that word led to three different words: galon, meaning bile, gelwaz, meaning yellow, and guthla, meaning gold. Those three words became gall, yellow, and gold, respectively. Gelwaz, meaning yellow, also led to the Old English word geolu, meaning yellow, and that led to the word yolk, because that's the yellow part of an egg. And finally, we get to the most convoluted word of them all. This is what's called a wander word. It's a word that spread into many different languages, and that is the word arsenic. How could you possibly get the word arsenic from the word gyelch? Well, that initial G changed to a Z in many languages. And that may seem strange, but it happened in a lot of Slavic languages. So the word for gold in Russian is zoloto, and in Latvian it's zelts. So in the old Iranian language, that G changed to a Z, the L changed to an R, and that gave the word zarnia. That old Iranian word was then borrowed 4 times in a row into different languages. First, it got borrowed into a Semitic language, scholars aren't quite sure which, and then it was borrowed into Greek as arsenikon, meaning yellow arsenic, and next into Latin, and then finally into English as arsenic. If you want to learn more about language history, give me a follow.